Hey everybody! Today's video is a little something that I'm making for myself when I was just starting to buy my kit. We're going to explore which Aputure lights work with which Aputure modifiers so that you don't accidentally buy two incompatible items. I've got a little table on screen here that's showing the lights we'll cover, the modifiers we'll cover, and a quick note about how well each of them pair together. I've also got this here in case you're in a rush and you just want some quick answers. So like I said, let's start with the 60X. This light has its own proprietary mount, but does have a Bowens mount adapter for it. Interestingly, there are a couple of modifiers you can use on this light, despite the focusing element not having the dispersion of an open-face cob light. As long as you still have the internal baffle for the Light Dome 2 and the 60x90 softbox, then you will get enough spread from this light on flood mode to be able to make use of these softboxes. However, the light is unable to fill out something larger like the 30x120 softbox. I'll probably only ever use this with the LS60 softbox that's purpose-built for it, but it's nice to know that in a pinch, I can use this light in other ways. Moving on to the 200D, while this one is made by Amaran, I felt it was worthwhile to include due to how popular this light is as a starting point for entering the Aputure line of products for most people. Speaking of popular, please help my channel out and give this video a like. Even though this light has a plastic build construction, the yoke handle is incredibly strong. I've got a 10-pound BOA bag here hanging off the front, and you can see that it's holding strong. Because of this, it works with all of the softboxes in the Aputure lineup. The Light Dome 150 will look hilarious, but it does work, and the light will support it. It's built to work with the Fresnel 2X, so add that to the list of reasons why this light is such a good value. An unlikely combo, I can recommend this light with the spotlight, as long as you're going to use it to throw the light somewhere and you're not going to have it on screen with gobos or raking across your background. It doesn't quite focus, it's got some fringing on the sides of the cut, and you can see a slight honeycomb shadow pattern as well. Lastly, because the unit is 90% the brightness of the 300D, it works great with the lanterns on it to bring up the overall room level. The 300D, the flagship of Aputure, is one of their most compatible lights with all of the accessories. In fact, the only thing that isn't purpose-built for this particular light is the F10 Fresnel here and the larger set of barn doors. That isn't a big deal though, because you can just use the 2X instead to increase the output of the light. Even the 5-foot softbox works on this light due to the brake disc design of the yoke. You buy this light, and you can't go wrong with any of the Aputure modifiers. Like the 300D, the 600D is another incredibly compatible light with Aputure's line of Bowens mount accessories. Basically the flip of the 300D, the Fresnel 2X here isn't built for it, but that's fine because you can pull out the awesome F10 Fresnel instead. The only difference is that I wouldn't recommend using the 30x120 or 60x90 softbox with this one at a high power. Because of the way these softboxes are designed, they need an internal baffle to help spread the beam of the cob light to get to the edges of the softbox. This internal baffle sits relatively close to the cob of the LED lights, and at a high enough power level, I'd be worried about starting a fire. The spotlight also works well on this unit, giving it the same flexibility as the 300D when it comes to modifying. And with the Lantern 90, you can easily light up any space with this unit. If you're enjoying this video, make sure to click subscribe and the bell notification icon so that you don't miss any of the other videos coming your way on a weekly basis. Lastly, the powerhouse of the Aputure lineup, the 1200D. I wouldn't recommend using anything except for the Light Dome 150 on this light. You can put the 3-foot softbox on this one, and it might not be a fire hazard as long as you don't have the internal baffle, but you are kind of using the wrong tool for the job at that point. Also, the F10 Fresnel doesn't actually work with this light. It reduces the output rather than increasing it compared to the hyperreflectors. Because of that, you'll see me using this light mostly with those hyperreflectors into larger square diffusion rags like 6x or 8x, or through the giant Light Dome 150. That covers all of the lighting modifier combos in the Aputure lineup. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week. All right, there we go. Boom.